SDKs for Unity and Unreal, but you don't need to be a developer or need to develop content to use the Woojer Vest. Oh, we're back. The presentation's up. Sweet. I'll just talk for a little bit more, and then I'll get started. So this device has the most sophisticated haptic actuators that have ever been developed. They're called Aussie, and they are patented by us. We developed them by ourselves. They can do things that traditional haptic drivers simply cannot do. And the byproduct of that functionality, the byproduct of that design is that they feel amazing. And so I encourage any of you who have not experienced this product yet, once the talks are over, please go into the back there and check out our booth and check out how this device works with Beat Saber and a new game called Audica. Fantastic sounding games, both of them. And I think it will be a good indication of what value add you can offer your customers by integrating something like this into your LBE situation, right? So I'll just hop through the presentation quickly here. So as you can see here, this is a, oh, we're showing it? Great, okay. So what do? We're a pioneer in the field of haptic technology with a patent portfolio and products that deliver high quality tactile sensation to reproduce the rich emotion of sound. The equivalent I'll give you is not using haptics with VR, especially a haptic product like the Woojer Vest, is like watching a movie with the sound off, right? You can do it, it's just not the full experience. And I encourage you, when you're playing with this, to try to, when you go over here and check this out, turn the haptics down while you're playing, and then turn them back up, and see how much it adds to the experience. It's one of those things where once it's off, if people get used to it and then it's off, you feel like you've just taken the color out of the room. It really is something that must be experienced. Well, we already talked about what haptics are. Anybody that's in this room is probably aware that haptics is going to have a major impact on our lives, so I do not need to go into that. Where do we fit in? We fit in with a patent portfolio, and we fit in with world-class technology that feels incredible. So on the one hand, you can plug this device into anything you can possibly imagine, via Bluetooth, via the USB on the back. With regard to VR integrations, it's as simple as running a USB cable from the headset to the device, and that's your integration. Right? Super, super simple. If you have a device that's limited to doing audio like via jack, you can just connect via jack, or if you want to, you can do via Bluetooth. So we've made this as connectable as possible. So beyond the fact that it works with anything, there's another layer to this device that's extremely significant, which is the fact that there are multiple haptic actuators. So on the one hand, those multiple haptic actuators, by default, operate in stereo mode. That alone vastly outstrips any other haptic products on the market, because 99.9% of them, if not 100% of them, are monophonic. And monophonic haptic feedback is throwing away half of the signal and a good chunk of what makes the audio implementation in video games good. There's a reason that video games are in stereo, right? It's not an accident. Our haptics should be in stereo as well. So that's out of the box operation. Beyond that, what's interesting for developers and folks who are developing their own content for out-of-home experiences is this device can be addressed, each of the drivers individually, via something we have called arcade mode and via our Unreal and Unity SDKs, as I mentioned before. So that means that you can develop spatialized audio content for the headphone end of things, while then individually addressing each of the drivers. So the simplest example I can imagine is gunshot to the right shoulder. You're going to hear that pass through the stereo field, but then on impact, you can have it hit the correct place on the user's body for incredible levels of immersion. I cannot stress enough that you guys have to check out what we have going back there. We've got two demos. We've got a VR demo running Beat Saber and Audica, as I mentioned, and that's going to be running in out-of-the-box stereo mode. But then we have an audio demo that will showcase how arcade mode works, where you're going to have audio content in the headphones with haptics moving around your body. And I think it's really compelling. I highly suggest you check it out. So we've got a couple videos here. I'm going to come back to these. I'm going to end on the video. The video I want to show you is going to be reactions from last year's E3. This is just a really quickly thrown together video that will show you how impactful our technology is for people. They don't need to know that it's haptics. They don't need to know that it's world class. They don't need to know that it's proprietary. They just know that it feels good. And at the end of the day, if you can offer an elevated experience to your customers, especially with a value add, I think that's something that's extremely valuable. So, you know what? Why don't we watch the video? We'll watch a little bit of this. Oh, I clicked too many times. I swear I know how to use computers. At least I think I do. Maybe I don't. Oh, it went to the other browser. Yeah. Can we possibly have audio from this video? Now I'll jump into my stand-up routine. I don't have a stand-up routine. The audio is not important. If it's a problem, it's not a big deal. You can do it? If you can do it, sweet. I want you to see how these people reacted to using this product. Some of it's surprise, some of it's shock, but oh, there's something else playing. I think it's playing from that guy. There we go. It's fine. We don't need the audio if it's a pain. Oh, he's on top of it. How am I doing on time? I have like a minute left. I don't think anyone has taken questions yet. Are there any questions about this product that anybody in here has? The price point, as of right now, you can get it at a discounted rate of $5.99, but there's actually a discount on the show floor right now. If you talk to our CEO, Kafir, there in the back, he'll talk to you about what the show floor discount is. So, yeah, everybody talk to him. So, yeah, there's bundling, etc. Yeah, the question is, if I have Beat Saber in my LBE, can I plug and play? If the game has excellent audio implementation, the answer is always yes. So, meaning Beat Saber has excellent sound, right? So it's going to work in the vest. The bass frequencies are nice. The music they licensed is excellent. Same thing with Audica. Part of the problem we had with initial VR development, especially in the very early days, is that the sound was an afterthought. So, right, or in some cases, some of the first VR experiences I did had no sound whatsoever. So that doesn't work well with a haptics product. But now we're in a much more sophisticated universe where 90% of the professional level VR that's coming out has excellent audio in it. So it's going to work beautifully with this product. So, and the other thing about it too, go ahead. Absolutely. I mean, it all comes back to how well is the audio implemented. Interestingly, in out-of-the-box stereo mode with something like Pavlov, I'm assuming the audio is spatialized for that. I haven't played it personally, but I've seen people play it. So if you move your body, the haptics are going to spatialize as right? So if I'm facing this way and I'm getting hit from here, you're going to feel it in the back. Or more correctly, in stereo mode, you're going to feel it in the side, right? Because it only knows how to do left and right by default. Any other questions? Battery life, so twofold. One, I have not run out of battery from a single charge in like a 6-hour session. No issues. And they're special batteries for this device, right? So they're not just traditional off-the-shelf batteries. I can also add that there are 2 additional battery ports inside of here that can all be connected simultaneously, so you can have 3 times the battery. So charging becomes every once-a-day thing. It doesn't become you don't have to rotate them day of operation. Any other questions? I'm being booted off stage. Guys, thank you so much. I appreciate it.